Hi everyone. I'm hopeful that all you will be fine. In the last session, we have learned how we can actually do bulk feature update across the Zoom account for the different users, okay? Using the feature type, feature value, and user ID. So I have described all the things, payload, and each and everything in the last session. If you are new here, then just please watch my previous session regarding that. In this session, we are keep continuing with the Zoom users REST API, and in this session, we will learn how we can actually update the user, okay? So for that, we first need to create a const variable for the endpoint. Let's see if we have already that. So if that's already, then we have no need. So okay, so we have already a helper called user by ID. We will use that. Okay, so inside the helper, we need to create a helper function. So here we say const update user by ID. Okay, and we say async, need to pass the payload. Okay, and we just page the request to that endpoint. Okay, and this endpoint we only accessible if you have a user right, either user right admin scope. Okay, so if you have anyone from this scope, then you can request to that endpoint. Okay, and this API have a light rate limit. That means you can only send 30 requests per second for if you have a pro plan, and if you have a business plus, then you can send 80 requests per second with the business plus. Okay, and inside the payload we can update many fields using the for the user's profile. Okay, so either we can update the phone numbers, we can update the about me section, and we can update the LinkedIn URL, we can update the use PMI and much more things. Okay, so I must be show you all those fields which are available for the updates. You can see inside the docs. Okay, so we can either change the CMS user ID, company, and we can also set the custom attributes. Okay, and we can also change the first name, last name, host key, and time zone, user type. Okay, vanity name. We can also change the vanity name for the personal meeting room. Okay, so in this session, we only just going to update few fields. We are just only going to update the use PMI for default settings for the every meeting creation. Once someone have started the meeting, instant meeting, then by default meeting will be started with the PMI. The automatic generate will be automatic meeting number will not be generated for that meeting. Okay, and we can also change. You can see types of the users. Okay, and many fields we can update. Okay, so let's start. In this endpoint, we have also two query parameters. So either we can send the login type as a query. Okay, so inside the login type there are a set of values we can set. You can see those here. So here if we are going to pass 0 for the if you have a Facebook auth, 99 for the API user, 101 for the SSO, and below 1 are for the China only. And you can also pass the remove TSP credentials. Okay, so by default you can also pass remove TSP credentials. Okay, if you have already set those on your profile, then you can remove those by setting this profile to true. Okay, by default this remove TSP credentials are false, null. Okay, so let's start. First build the endpoint URI. So we say here update user, and then we can say user URI. Okay, and we need to use string interpolation. Here we can pass API base URI, and we append user by ID. Okay, and inside that we pass the payload user ID. Okay, and we can also pass login type. Okay, so we say login type. I think we said here remove TCP credentials, and we said payload dot remove TCP credentials. Okay, so TSP, sorry, TCP not but TSP, telecommunication service provider credentials. If you have already set those, and you can remove those from any user because we are going to request this endpoint by the user ID. So there would the user ID user object will be updated on the backend on the Zoom side. Okay. So credentials. Okay. And if that is not present, then we are just going to set false. Okay. Need to format the code a bit, and then at the bottom we first place the check if we say payload dot login type is available. Okay. I think we can set those inside the filter, so that will be more better. We can pass the filter here. We change payload to filter. Okay, and we set here also filter. Okay, so login type is present, then we append that to user URI. So we use string interpolation here also. We say user, sorry, URI, and we say here, I think we name it and login type, and we say filter dot login type. Okay, and at the bottom we need to build the access for the request. So we say data await, and we say access. We say URL will be the user URI. Okay, and we say method page, and we say data will be payload. Okay, and header. So inside the header, you have a token inside that you must be have a user right or user right admin scope. Okay, so I'm just setting that, and I'm just then response, return response. Okay, and page, we say error, and we return error. Need to format the code, and at the bottom we just need to return the data, format the code. Okay, and here we need to export. So we say user, I think update user by ID. Okay, and inside the API we first need to update that, import that. So here say user, update user by ID, and here we create app page, and we say API Zoom users, we pass user ID. Okay, and we say async request response, and we need to call the user. We say await update user, sorry, update user by ID, and we here need to pass request dot body, and inside the filter we request dot query. Okay, so here we just need to return response dot JSON, and inside that we return user. Either we can say Zoom user, that will be more better. Okay, so we say here Zoom user. Okay, and now let's start the API, but for that we need to place the breakpoints here and here, and now just start the API. Here we say in start, just open the Postman. Okay, and also we can open the user profile. So inside, yeah, I think we say Zoom Zoom.us meeting. Need to sign in. Okay, sign in, and we need to build a request. So first need to close this, and add a request. So here we say add a request for update Zoom user. Okay, save. Need to change the page, and here we say local HTTP Let me see, localhost 44000/API Zoom users, and we need to pass the email of that user. You can pass either email of that user. You can also pass the ID of the user, which will be a unique bit, and you can either pass me if you have a OAuth flow with the access token. Okay, then you can also pass me as a user ID. Okay, and inside the body we use raw, and inside the JSON we place the JSON. So first we need to change the last name. So I am going to change that. Okay, and I'm also going to change use PMI, setting it to true, and I'm also about me. I'm setting that run with next. I think I say this to stack software engineer. Okay, and that's it. I think we are just only updating few fields for the demo purpose. Okay, just need to send the request, and we have got the error. Let's see what's the error was inside that. So data message user does not exist. So let's see what is URI we have built it. So here we can say, oh, we do not have a bind at the user params. So we must be first bind payload. I think we need to request.body. We say request.body.user ID, and we say request.params.user ID. Okay, format clear start once again, request once again, and we have a response inside 204 created, and let's see inside the profile. So I think we need to see profile. Okay, so I think we have set it. Let's start a meeting, but I have already running a meeting on that account. What data we have changed? We have changed last name. So we can see that if last name is changed or not. Okay, you can see last name is changed here. Okay, and if we can also start the instant meeting, I'm not going to start because I have already running meeting where I'm recording the session. So we have successfully updated the data. Okay, so you can see here. Okay, so I'm hopeful that you have enjoyed this session. If you have any query or any problem you are facing when you are going to requesting the page payload for update the Zoom users, then just place your queries inside the video comment section. Are there any queries regarding my any session, and also any suggestion you have? All those are most welcome. You can share all those details via my share contact details. Take care. We will come back with the next session. Bye bye.